breaking now.
It's horrible, and it's really sad that that could have happened to somebody, and I feel really bad for the family.
A teenager accused of killing his parents and several siblings in Broken Arrow. Police tell us his younger brother helped murder 5 people. Good evening, I'm Carol Morrison. We have live team coverage tonight from outside the house the family called home. Police responded to the home on Magnolia Court in Broken Arrow last night after a 911 call was made, but only noises could be heard in the background. Our live team coverage begins from outside the home where the family members were found. And 2RX2 anchor Brian Sanders joining me now live. Brian.
Good evening, Karen. We're working to learn more about not only what happened inside the home behind me, but more about the family who lives here. You can see this white house behind me. We're on Magnolia Court in the Indian Springs Golf community of South Broken Arrow. It is now a very active crime scene with both Broken Arrow PD and OSBI investigating. We know a family of 9 lived here. The parents and 3 children are dead. Another child, a 13-year-old, is fighting to live, and the youngest family member, a 2-year-old girl, is in the custody of the state and not hurt. Police say the 2 other children, teenage boys, were the ones responsible for these killings. And the details of what took place last night are slowly starting to be painted today, a gruesome picture. 2 News reporter Joe Hinkie joins me live now because the officers who responded to this crime scene are dealing with some emotional issues.
They are, Brian. Today, this neighborhood in shock as they're learning what took place on their street. But I learned today by talking to police officers, this is also taking a toll on them as they come and go from this scene that is still active nearly 18 hours later. Now, when officers arrived last night, they found 5 deceased family members, as Brian said, 2 adults, a 5-year-old girl, a 7-year-old boy, and 12-year-old boy. Also inside, that 13-year-old girl now in critical condition, and the 2-year-old somehow unharmed. Now, police tell me they acted quickly as they did not know when they first arrived who was alive or not. A corporal with the BA Police Department says in situations like this, officers act first and emotionally process the situation later, which is what many of them will be doing in the coming days, and the department is prepared with any services needed.
We have a very good peer support team that's going to be available for the officers and all those involved, the detectives and everybody else that's been involved in the crime scene. We have chaplains. We have a lot of resources we'll provide to continue to monitor the individuals that have had to deal with this horrific event.
Now, I talked with a few detectives and officers out here as they left the scene, many of them sharing few words, but you could tell the magnitude of this crime is not only hitting the neighbors and family out here. And one detective I talked with as he left the scene here told me they came here with a job to do last night. They thankfully arrested 2 suspects in a quick matter of time. And tonight he plans on going home, just giving his wife and kids a big hug and hopefully finding a way to deal with what he saw inside this house yesterday.
Certainly, and still, as you mentioned, an active crime scene. 18 hours now. We know at least one of the bodies has been removed from the house. It will now be turned over to the medical examiner to determine a cause of death.